Hi everyone, I am Jay Vora, market analyst at Indiacharts. So, in the past couple of days, precious metal has seen a sharp correction, that is the gold and the silver. So, many would be interested to know what is happening with the gold and the silver index, and what lies ahead for this precious commodities. So, before dwelling more into the gold and silver, it is very important to understand what the dollar index is doing, because no, generally the dollar index has an inverse correlation with the precious metals. So in this case, because the dollar index has been, going higher, and that has kind of put pressure on the precious metals, that is the gold and the silver. So, before going through gold and silver, let's have a look at dollar index and try to understand what it is doing. So in the past, we have discussed this many a times that the entire correction of the dollar index post the COVID was a five-wave decline. Those whoever are familiar with the elite wave must be knowing that five-wave declines occur in the direction of the trend. So in this case, the five-wave decline has occurred on the downside, which indicates that the direction for the dollar index is down on the medium term basis. So if the direction is down, then the up move that we saw, from 89 odd levels, what is it basically, right? So the answer to that is that it is a counter trend move. So in the counter trend move, what happens is the pullback can go up to 50% or 61.8% retracement of the entire fall, right? But not just the retracement. Let us look at the entire setup of the dollar index and try to understand where it is in the pullback. Okay, so if you can see this, that dollar index has been clearly rising higher, and it is making higher tops and higher bottoms, and it is respecting the 20-week moving average as well. So over here you can see for a brief while it had closed below the trend line, but quickly it retraced back, right? So now you can see that the dollar index is coming very close to the upper end of the channel, and add to that, if we do the retracement, that is from the high to the low, so you can see the 61.8% retracement is around the 97.8182 sort of levels, right? But this time, the dollar index has made a new high, but the indicator has not made a new high. So this is again an indication of a divergence that is occurring in the dollar index. So, but as of now, there are no signs of reversal yet, right? So let us look at the monthly chart as well. If the resistance which we had seen around the 97.82 level, is it significant or no? So as you can see, the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly time frame is also currently around 97.54 levels, right? So all this indicates that somewhere around this 97.60 level to 97.80 level, that is where the significant resistance is. And also the ones who have subscribed to Indiacharts must have seen the daily sentiment report published in today's today. So that is 92 at this point of time. So which means, 92% of the people are bullish on dollar index, and they expect dollar index to rise further. Whereas only 8% of the people are bearish at this point of time. So this indicates that the positive sentiment is kind of reaching an extreme. So in the past, we have observed that whenever there is a high bullish reading, and that is coupled with the multiple resistance on the upside, so generally we tend to see a short-term correction at least. Okay, so that is where we are, that is where the entire setup is in terms of the dollar index. Okay, now let's have a look at gold. Okay. So as you can see in gold, there were number of occasions where it sort of looked like that gold might move higher, but it eventually faltered. So something like this, wherein it broke past the many number of resistance, but eventually it faltered. So now, given that it has seen so many falters, and moreover, whenever there has been an impulse move, or when it actually looked like an impulse move, it has eventually given up, making us think that what is it exactly doing, right? So as you can see, there are two possibilities which we had also published in our article at Indiacharts. So as you can see, there is one possibility of a triangle formation, wherein, let me do the markings for the triangle. So wherein this could be wave A, wave B, wave C, wave D, and possibly the whole triangle consolidation could be coming to an end, around this, around the lower end of the triangle. So if you look at the level, so it is somewhere around 1780 odd levels, which is where also the low of this recent 5-wave rise also coincides. Okay, so if this is broken on the downside, okay, so there is a possibility that gold might enter into a triangular structure only, but maybe this triangle could be a bigger triangle, wherein it could be A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, this is the other alternate that can occur. So for that, to say whether this E will come on the downside till 1680 odd levels, for that, it needs to confirm that gold breaks below $1780 and then it sustains below that. If it sustains below that, then yes, definitely the chances of gold correcting towards the lower end of the larger triangle, which is at 1680, this opens up that possibility. But, and also the other thing which is a little bit worrying sign for gold as of now is the monthly chart. So if we look at the monthly chart, okay, so let me remove the text. So if we look at the monthly chart, as you can see that the lower Bollinger and the 40-month moving average, so that both these levels are around the 1780 kind of levels, which is where also the possibility of a triangle formation is, right? So this leaves the risk gold can test the lower level of 1680 odd, and then it may start moving higher. But that said, one needs to understand that these are still counter trend moves and not something like a trend reversal or something like that. So it is basically the index saw an impulse move, and this is the correction for that impulse move. So nothing else changes apart from the fact that in the short term, if the gold breaks 1780 levels, then the correction can get deeper to 1680 odd level. That is the only thing that we need to watch out for, because as and when the dollar index gives a sign of reversal, most probably even gold will find its bottom somewhere, and then again it would start moving. So that was on gold. Now moving on to silver. Silver also has a similar pattern to gold. Okay, but the only thing to watch out for in silver is that for this month, if we had to exclude this month, so it had not done its complete cycle, wherein it had not come back to the zero line, which had happened in gold in the earlier month itself. So that leaves for some sort of consolidation in silver, wherein this month maybe for next 1 or 2 trading session it does a bit of a consolidation, and then it again starts moving. But if you see, the silver index has pulled back to the 40-month moving average. And if we see on the lower time frame, there is a possibility of silver also forming a triangle pattern, just like how gold is doing, right? So in this case, this is a possibility for silver. So earlier we thought that, maybe this was a 5-wave rise. Okay, this looked like a 5-wave rise, wherein this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, post which we saw a 3-wave decline. This was A, B, and C. And then, the expectation was that it would start a new leg of up move. So until it overlapped this point, it looked like it would be a next move on the impulse. But because now it has overlapped and this move clearly looks like a 3-wave rise, so this opens a possibility of a triangle consolidation, wherein this could probably be A, B, C, D, and similar to gold, it could be D. It could be doing E on the downside. So if that has to happen, then probably the truncation, the ending point of the E wave could be around 21.45. Now, you also need to understand that sometimes wave E can also be truncated, right? So in this case, if you can see, silver has already done 61.8% of the entire move, okay, which means that one should now ideally start looking for the reversal point, because as we mentioned earlier, that gold, the dollar, it is approaching an important resistance zone, right? So there is a possibility of a reversal anytime in gold and silver, so we need to be alert on that. But yes, in the worst case scenario, if the correction plays out and the precious metal sees a sharp correction, then for silver, there is a possibility of it touching to 21.45 kind of levels. So we had discussed, both of these articles in detail in the Indiacharts website, but we thought of making the video also so that people could benefit out of this and understand what is happening for gold. So that's it from my side. Thank you.